So have you been listening to any of the news in Rhode Island about how crazy home prices are getting? Have you thought about maybe selling your home and upgrading, or maybe moving to a different location, or now that the kids are gone, downgrading to something maybe that's brand new, a little more luxurious? What's holding you back? Are you worried about the timing? What happens if you sell your house before you have somewhere to go? Today we're going to talk about some strategies and why you should separate these two transactions to give yourself the most leverage possible. I'm SandiWarner with the Warner Realty Group in Rhode Island, and today we're going to talk about the phenomenon that's, from my understanding, talking to agents across the country, this is happening everywhere right now. Home prices in Rhode Island continue to rise. We saw a 7.5% gain in equity last year. What that means, and anybody who's currently home shopping, you're probably experiencing this. We are seeing people offering well over asking price and still losing out on homes. So maybe you're a Rhode Island homeowner, or you have a second home here or an investment property here, and you're saying to yourself, gosh, I'd really like to sell that and capture that equity. But the second side of your transaction is also buying in Rhode Island. So how do we do that? Lots of my clients that I'm talking to have homes that they would like to put on the market, but they're worried about what happens if they don't know where they're going yet. And what I'm suggesting to people, and what I'm going to suggest to you, is separate these two transactions out a little bit in your mind. Why? I'm going to put up a statistic, a chart here right now to kind of show you two different statistics about the seller's market in Rhode Island. It actually relates to buying and selling. And the first chart I want to show you, this is a historical chart in Rhode Island, and what it's showing is the final sale price in relation to the list price over the last 5 years in Rhode Island. And why is that important? It's showing how much leverage the sellers have. It's showing that, and for what it's worth, this chart only goes to 100%. So when you're looking at it and you're seeing 100%, it's not accounting for the houses that are selling over asking price, over list price. I want to point out that in 2020, starting in March of 2020, look down that row. It's 100%. Every home is selling at or above 100% of value. That includes January of 2021. Well, what does that mean for you if you're thinking about putting your house on the market? Well, that means you're going to have the most leverage if you selling your house is a separate transaction. Well, what does that mean for you if you're a buyer? When you go to buy your dream house in Rhode Island, maybe it's your old family home that you've had for 20 years and you haven't updated it, and you're really ready for the condo with the garage and the brand new kitchen and everything's white and gray and marble and perfect. If you're a buyer in this market and everyone's offering over asking and people are pre-approved and a lot of these buyers already have cash, how well is your offer going to be accepted if you go into that offer and say, I have to sell my house first, but I haven't put it on the market and it hasn't sold yet, and I have X, Y, and Z contingencies? Are you a strong buyer? Are you competitive? No, you're not. And if you're buying on those terms, you're going to settle. You're going to have to settle. You're going to have to settle for the house that nobody else wanted. If you're a seller, so say, for example, you get a house and now you've got the offer on the house of your dreams, and you magically got it with the sale of your house being contingent. How strong are you as a seller? Can you hold on for the highest price you can get? Or are you under the gun because you're afraid of losing your dream house, which is now under contract? No, you're going to be way more negotiable because you're going to say, oh my gosh, we have to sell my house. I'm not going to stick to my guns. I'm going to give in on repairs, and I'm going to give in on appraisals, and I'm going to give in, and you're not going to get the highest dollar value. Or you're going to fall for that old trick. You're going to fall for some realtor that says, well, I'll work for 1%. You get what you pay for, right? If it's a discount realtor, and they can't fight for their own commission, how much are they fighting for your commission? You want professional help. You want to be the strongest you can possibly be in the sale of your home, which means the purchase of your next home's not tied to it. You have the best realtor you can get who's out there fighting tooth and nail to get you the best price. The next thing I want to show you is for sellers. This is really more for the seller side. This is showing you right now. So all my sellers that I'm talking to right now, and I've got a list, and I think every realtor in Rhode Island has a list right now of sellers who are thinking about coming on the market, but they're kind of waiting till March and April. This list that you're showing is a graphic representation. It's called Active Listings in Rhode Island. And you can see, if you look at the bottom, it starts in January 2016, and it shows that we had, in January of 2016, 5 years ago, we had about 10,300 active listings, maybe 10,500. And then January of 2017, we were down to maybe 7,000. And then in in July of 2017, it came back up to 7,000. And it goes down in January and up in July and down in January and up in July. If we look at January 2020, we had 8,200 listings in the entire state of Rhode Island. In January 2021, 3,800 listings in the entire state of Rhode Island. 3,800 listings. So if we have a market that is in historically low inventory to begin with, and it's now at historic lows again, what does that mean for your property? Your property doesn't have to be perfect. Your property just has to be clean, and everything just has to be working, and you're going to get a higher price than you would have last year. And if you sell your property and that money's in the bank and we get you completely approved, you're going to have 5 times the power as a buyer than you would if you hadn't sold your property first. Now, I get it. It is so much to think about, to pack your house, to move, and have to go somewhere temporarily. It's not easy, and I'm not saying it's easy. We manage a lot of short-term rentals. There are lots of short-term rentals around the state. There are ways around this. We can help you. Even if you have to go camp out somewhere 1 month, 2 months, and pay for storage, the amount of money that you're going to gain in equity in the strong sale of your existing home and the amount of bargaining power you're going to have as a pre-approved buyer with cash in the bank is going to make up the difference. So don't sit there and wait and try to solve all of this problem in one time. There was a time in the market that we could do that. We could say, hey, we're going to sell our house, and a seller wanted a buyer bad enough that they would take that risk. That's not now. That's not today. And in order to take advantage of the amazing equity in the Rhode Island real estate market, you got to sell now. So call us. Let us show you how we can work this out. Let us help you be the most powerful seller you can be and the most powerful buyer you can be. It can be done. We can help. Give us a call, 401-236-8685. Talk to you soon. Bye.